What if I told you, gentlemen, that the secret to explosive testosterone, the kind that reignites your energy, sharpens your mind, and brings back the power you thought you'd lost, has been sitting quietly in your kitchen this whole time? Not in a pill, not in a clinic, but in a simple bottle of olive oil. Yet it only unlocks its true potential when you mix it with one surprising ingredient before bed. This isn't a myth, it's science, and it's changing the lives of men over 60 all across America. I'm Dr. James, a urologist and men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience helping men reclaim their strength, confidence, and performance, naturally. I've seen too many men lose themselves to fatigue, low drive, and frustration because no one ever told them the truth. Your body can still produce testosterone. It simply needs the right support. Here's the paradox that most doctors never mention. Testosterone doesn't just fall with age, it falls because of the way we live, sleep, and eat. Yet with one small change to your nighttime routine, you can flip that biological switch back on. Tonight, I'm going to show you a 2-minute ritual, mixing olive oil with one simple ingredient that can reactivate your body's natural testosterone engine while you sleep. No medications, no gimmicks, just real biological restoration from the inside out. And if you stay with me until the end, I'll reveal exactly how to mix it, why it works, and the signs that your body is waking up stronger than it has in years. Before we dive in, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another men's health tip designed to help you stay strong, confident, and energized after 60. And if this topic speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 and tell me what kind of videos you'd like to see next. Now let's get into the science behind it. Before I show you exactly how to mix olive oil with that secret ingredient, you need to understand why testosterone matters so deeply, especially after 60. Because without this hormone, everything from your energy to your confidence begins to quietly fade away. 1. Why testosterone matters more than you think. When I meet men in their 60s or 70s for the first time, I can often tell within seconds if their testosterone is running low. It's not because of the wrinkles or the gray hair, it's in the way they move, the heaviness in their voice, and the quiet frustration in their eyes. They tell me they feel tired for no reason, that their motivation is slipping away, and that even the things they used to enjoy, like intimacy, exercise, or simply waking up with purpose, don't feel the same anymore. And they always ask the same question, "Doctor, is this just old age?" Here's what I tell them and what I want to tell you right now. It's not just aging, it's hormonal. Testosterone is the fuel that powers a man's life. It's the hormone that shapes your muscles, keeps your belly from expanding, protects your heart, and gives your mind that sharp, focused edge. It's what makes you want to get up in the morning, feel confident in your skin, and connect deeply with your partner. When testosterone levels are strong, men feel alive, driven, and grounded. But when it begins to decline, even the strongest man can start to feel like a dimmer version of himself. The truth is, testosterone affects far more than just your performance in the bedroom. It influences your mood, your metabolism, your ability to sleep deeply, and even how optimistic you feel about life. When levels drop, men experience fatigue, irritability, depression, and a loss of drive that can make every day feel like a struggle. The body slows down, muscles soften, and the brain feels foggy. Some men start gaining weight even when they eat less. Others notice they're losing interest in intimacy or simply feel off without knowing why. It's heartbreaking to see how many men accept this as inevitable when in reality it's not. You see, your body still knows how to produce testosterone, it just needs the right environment to do so. Think of it like a fire that's gone quiet, not because it burned out, but because it's been smothered by years of stress, poor sleep, and the wrong kinds of foods. Beneath the ashes, the embers are still glowing. You simply have to give them oxygen again. I've watched men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s reignite that fire naturally. And when they do, their posture changes, their laughter returns, and their eyes light up with the confidence they thought was gone forever. Testosterone isn't about vanity or chasing youth. It's about reclaiming the core of who you are as a man. It's about feeling capable, energetic, and connected to life again. When your testosterone is balanced, you don't just look younger, you move with purpose, think more clearly, and love more deeply. That's why understanding this hormone is the very first step in transforming your health and vitality. And here's the good news. You don't need synthetic injections or expensive prescriptions to do it. Nature has already provided a way to nourish your body's testosterone engine, starting with something simple, pure and powerful that might already be in your kitchen. Let's talk about the natural fuel every man over 60 should be using: olive oil. 2. Why olive oil is the unsung hero of male hormones. Over the years, I've noticed something remarkable in my patients who follow a Mediterranean-style diet. They age slower, move easier, and often have stronger hormone levels, even into their 70s and 80s. And there's one ingredient they all use daily: olive oil. It's not just a cooking fat, it's liquid gold for a man's body. I remember an older patient named Robert, 68 years old, who came to me feeling drained, weak, and discouraged. His testosterone levels were low, his belly had grown, and his confidence had quietly slipped away. When I asked him what his diet looked like, I noticed it was almost completely void of healthy fats. Together, we made a few simple changes, starting with adding extra virgin olive oil into his meals every day. 3 months later, Robert returned looking like a new man. His energy was back, his strength had improved, and his blood work showed a significant increase in testosterone. So what makes olive oil so powerful? It's all about the type of fat it contains. Testosterone is actually made from cholesterol, and olive oil provides the kind of healthy monounsaturated fats your body uses to build it naturally. These fats act like the raw materials your body needs to produce testosterone efficiently. Without them, your hormone factory slows down. But that's not all. Olive oil is packed with polyphenols, tiny plant compounds that fight inflammation throughout your body. And that matters more than most men realize, because inflammation is one of the hidden killers of testosterone production. Inside your testicles are specialized cells called Leydig cells. They are your hormone factories, but when they're under attack from inflammation or oxidative stress, they begin to weaken. Their output drops, and so does your testosterone. Olive oil acts like a protective shield for those cells. Its antioxidants neutralize the damage caused by free radicals, while its healthy fats keep the cell membrane strong and functional. This is why men who use olive oil regularly not only have higher testosterone levels, but also healthier blood flow, better heart function, and improved vitality overall. What I love about olive oil is that it's gentle, natural, and easy to incorporate into daily life. You don't need to count calories or take expensive supplements. You just have to make a small, consistent choice every day to replace harmful fats like margarine or vegetable oils with something your body recognizes as nourishment. The difference over time is extraordinary. Your hormones stabilize, your metabolism improves, and your energy no longer crashes mid-afternoon. And here's something else most people don't know. Olive oil also boosts a critical messenger hormone called luteinizing hormone, or LH. This hormone acts like a signal from your brain that tells your testicles, hey, it's time to produce more testosterone. In other words, olive oil doesn't just feed your hormone system, it helps switch it back on. But even with all its power, olive oil is only half the story, because when you combine it with one very specific natural ingredient, something remarkable happens. The body doesn't just maintain testosterone, it amplifies it. And that's where the real magic begins. Let's talk about that secret ingredient next. 3. The secret ingredient that turns olive oil into a testosterone amplifier. When I first began studying natural testosterone support, I was fascinated by how certain traditional cultures maintain strength and virility well into old age. In many of those regions, olive oil was always present, but so was another humble ingredient that often appeared alongside it: raw honey. Not the processed kind that comes in a plastic bear-shaped bottle, but the thick, golden, unfiltered honey that still carries the scent of flowers and the life of the bees that made it. Over time, I realized that this simple, ancient food was far more powerful than it looked. And when paired with olive oil, it creates a synergy that can awaken your body's natural hormone engine like nothing else. Raw honey works on multiple levels. First, it contains a trace mineral called boron, one of nature's most underrated testosterone boosters. In fact, clinical studies have shown that just a small daily dose of boron can increase free testosterone, the kind your body actually uses, by up to 30% in as little as 1 week. It does this by lowering the amount of a protein called SHBG, which binds to testosterone in your bloodstream and makes it inactive. The less SHBG you have, the more testosterone remains free to do its job, fueling your energy, your mood, and your performance. I often tell my patients, think of boron as the key that unlocks the testosterone you already have. But honey's power doesn't stop there. It's rich in vitamin B6, essential for testosterone production, and antioxidants that protect your testicular cells from damage. What's even more impressive is how honey interacts with your body's natural rhythms. When you take it before bed, it provides a steady, gentle source of glucose that keeps your blood sugar stable through the night. This matters because when your blood sugar crashes during sleep, your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone that directly suppresses testosterone production. By keeping cortisol low, honey allows testosterone to rise naturally, exactly when your body produces most of it, while you sleep. I remember one of my older patients, John, who was skeptical when I suggested this combination. He had tried every supplement and felt defeated. I told him to give olive oil and raw honey a fair try for 30 nights, just 1 spoonful of each before bed. When he came back a month later, he told me his mornings felt different. He woke up more alert, his drive had returned, and for the first time in years, he felt steady energy throughout the day. His lab tests confirmed it. His free testosterone levels were higher than they'd been in a decade. There's something poetic about it, really. 2 of nature's oldest gifts, olive oil from the earth and honey from the bees, working together to restore something deeply human: balance, vitality, and strength. It's proof that sometimes the simplest remedies are the ones your body understands best. But here's where things get even more fascinating. The timing of when you take this combination determines how powerful it becomes. Because at night, while you sleep, your body isn't resting, it's rebuilding. And if you give it the right fuel at the right time, the transformation can be remarkable. Let's talk about why the moment before bed is so critical. 4. Timing is everything. Why before bed works best. One of the biggest mistakes I see men make when they try to boost their testosterone naturally is timing. They take supplements in the morning, eat well during the day, and yet they overlook the most powerful window their body has for hormone production: the hours they're asleep. What many don't realize is that testosterone is primarily made while you rest, not while you're awake. The quiet, still hours of the night are when your body repairs, rebuilds, and renews itself. It's when your brain and testicles communicate through intricate hormonal signals, telling your body it's time to produce. And if you nourish yourself properly before bed, that signal becomes louder, stronger, and more efficient. When I recommend the olive oil and honey combination, I always emphasize the timing. Take it about 30 minutes before going to bed. Why? Because that's when your body begins to prepare for its natural hormone production cycle. The olive oil delivers healthy fats, the raw materials your body uses to build testosterone, while the raw honey supplies the boron, B vitamins, and antioxidants that protect and energize your hormone-producing cells. Together, they act as both the fuel and the spark, setting your system up for optimal performance throughout the night. I remember an older patient, Harold, who told me he always skipped dinner and went to bed on an empty stomach, thinking it would help him lose weight. He didn't realize he was also sabotaging his hormone levels. His blood sugar would dip overnight, triggering cortisol spikes, his body's way of saying we're under stress. The problem is, cortisol and testosterone are like opposite ends of a seesaw. When one rises, the other falls. After adding the olive oil and honey ritual before bed, Harold not only slept better but also woke up with more energy, mental clarity, and confidence than he'd felt in years. Sleep isn't just rest, it's repair. During deep sleep, your pituitary gland releases pulses of luteinizing hormone, the chemical messenger that tells your testicles to start producing testosterone. That process peaks in the early morning hours, which is why healthy men often wake with strong morning erections. It's your body's natural sign that the system is working. But for that to happen consistently, your body needs stability. If you go to bed under stress, dehydrated, or hungry, your hormones can't do their job properly. The olive oil and honey mixture prevents those disruptions by giving your body what it needs to stay balanced, calm, and nourished through the night. There's a certain peace that comes from ending your day with intention. Mixing these two natural ingredients isn't just about biology, it's a ritual, a small act of care that signals to your body that it's safe to restore itself. For many men, it becomes a quiet moment of reflection and discipline, something deeply satisfying about knowing that while you sleep, your body is quietly working in your favor. And when you wake up the next morning feeling stronger, more alert, and more centered, it's proof that this ritual is working from the inside out. But of course, to experience all these benefits, you need to prepare it correctly. The ratio, the quality, and the way you take it all matter more than you might think. So let me show you exactly how to make it. 5. How to prepare it correctly. Over the years, I've learned that when it comes to natural remedies, the smallest details often make the biggest difference. And this olive oil and honey combination is no exception. Many men have tried it casually, pouring a little of this or that, but when you do it with precision and intention, it can transform not just your testosterone levels, but how your entire body feels and functions. So let's talk about how to prepare it the right way, the way I teach my own patients. Start by choosing extra virgin olive oil, the highest quality you can find. This is not the time to cut corners. Look for one that is labeled cold-pressed and unrefined. Why does this matter? Because cheap processed oils are stripped of the very compounds your body needs, the polyphenols, antioxidants, and healthy fats that make olive oil a true hormone-supporting food. When you use the real stuff, you're feeding your body nature's purest form of fuel. I always tell my patients, if you wouldn't drizzle it on a salad and enjoy the taste, it's not good enough for this ritual. Next, you'll need raw, unfiltered honey, thick, cloudy, and straight from the hive. If you see pasteurized or blended on the label, put it back on the shelf. Those versions have been heated, which destroys the enzymes, boron, and antioxidants that make honey such a potent natural booster. The best honey often comes from local farmers markets or small regional brands. Real raw honey still contains a hint of pollen and a deep, natural sweetness that no factory can replicate. Once you have your ingredients, here's the simple formula. 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil and 1 teaspoon of raw honey. Mix them together in a small glass until the texture becomes smooth and golden. Some men prefer to take it straight, almost like a health shot. It goes down easily and leaves a gentle, nutty sweetness on your tongue. Others like to drizzle it over a piece of whole grain bread or stir it into a cup of warm, caffeine-free herbal tea. The key is consistency, taking it every night about 30 minutes before bed. When you do this, you're not just nourishing your body, you're giving it a nightly message. It's time to rebuild. The olive oil provides the raw materials your body uses to make testosterone. The honey gives your cells the energy and minerals they need to activate that process. Together, they support your liver, your testicular cells, and even your sleep quality, creating the perfect internal environment for testosterone to rise naturally. I've seen men come back after a few weeks with brighter eyes, steadier energy, and renewed confidence. They tell me, "Doctor, I can feel my body working again." And that's the beauty of it. This is not an artificial fix or a quick trick. It's a ritual that restores your body's natural rhythm night after night. But the true magic happens when you combine this habit with other lifestyle choices that support hormone balance. Because while this mixture is powerful on its own, what you do during the day can multiply its effects overnight. Let's talk about those simple yet powerful habits that make this work even better. 6. What happens when you do this consistently? I've always told my patients that real transformation doesn't come from doing something once. It comes from consistency. Your body is like a living conversation. It listens to what you do every day, not what you do occasionally. The same applies to this simple mixture of olive oil and raw honey. The men who truly feel its effects are the ones who make it part of their nightly rhythm, like brushing their teeth or saying a quiet prayer before bed. Because over time, something remarkable begins to happen. At first, the changes are subtle. You might notice that you're sleeping more deeply, waking up less during the night, or feeling calmer before falling asleep. Within the first week or two, your mornings start to feel different. Your energy is steadier, your mood lighter, and your focus sharper. It's as if your body is slowly remembering what vitality feels like. Then, as the weeks pass, you begin to notice deeper changes. You wake up with stronger morning erections, the kind you haven't felt in years. Your desire returns naturally, not forced or anxious, but steady and confident. Even your workouts or daily walks start to feel easier, as if your muscles are finally responding the way they used to. One of my patients, Michael, a 72-year-old retired teacher, told me something that stayed with me. He said, "Doctor, it feels like my body just woke up from a long nap." That's exactly what happens when your testosterone begins to rise naturally again. You don't feel like a different person, you feel like yourself again. The man who laughs more easily, moves more freely, and wakes up ready to take on the day. Testosterone doesn't just rebuild your muscles, it rebuilds your spirit. Inside your body, this mixture is working quietly but powerfully. The olive oil is feeding your cells with the fats they need to produce hormones. The honey is lowering your cortisol, stabilizing your blood sugar, and fueling your metabolism through the night. Together, they're creating the perfect environment for your testosterone to flourish, without pills, prescriptions, or injections. And because it's natural, your body doesn't fight it. It embraces it. This isn't a quick fix or a temporary surge. It's a gentle reawakening of your body's natural rhythm. After about 4 weeks, most men begin to see visible changes in their bodies. Their skin looks healthier, their bellies start to shrink, and their posture improves. They move with more confidence, not because of vanity, but because they finally feel strong again. Their partners often notice the difference before they do, the renewed spark in their eyes, the laughter that had faded returning once more. And the best part, the longer you stay consistent, the more your body rewards you. Hormones thrive on stability, and this nightly habit creates it. But if you want to unlock even greater results, to take this transformation from good to extraordinary, there are a few daily habits that can amplify everything this mixture does while you sleep. Let's explore those next, because this is where your entire system starts working in perfect harmony. 7. Simple daily habits that supercharge your results. If you truly want this olive oil and honey ritual to work its full magic, you have to give your body the environment it needs to thrive. Testosterone doesn't rise in isolation. It responds to how you live, how you rest, and how you care for yourself. That's why the men who see the best results aren't just taking the mixture, they're supporting it with small, powerful habits that make every drop count. First, protect your sleep like it's sacred. Deep, uninterrupted rest is the engine that drives hormone production. Turn off screens an hour before bed, dim the lights, and keep your room cool and dark. Think of this as giving your body the calm it needs to do its best work while you sleep. Without quality rest, even the best natural remedies can only do so much. Next, move your body every day. You don't need to train like an athlete. A brisk walk, a few push-ups, or light weightlifting sends your body a simple but powerful message. Stay strong. Movement signals your brain to keep producing testosterone. It's how you remind your body that you still need it. Nutrition matters too. Add magnesium-rich foods like almonds, spinach, or pumpkin seeds into your meals. Drink plenty of water and keep alcohol and processed sugars to a minimum. These choices keep your blood clean, your metabolism balanced, and your testosterone production steady. And perhaps most importantly, manage your stress. Every time you lower your stress, you raise your testosterone. Deep breathing, a quiet walk, or even a few minutes of gratitude each day can shift your entire hormonal balance. Do these simple things while taking your nightly olive oil and honey, and your body won't just improve, it will transform. Because when your mind, hormones, and daily habits align, something incredible happens. You don't just feel younger, you start living younger, and that's exactly what we'll uncover as we bring it all together in the final part. 8. The final transformation. What 30 nights can do for you. I've seen hundreds of men walk into my office tired, frustrated, and quietly worried that their best days were behind them. But after 30 nights of this simple bedtime ritual, olive oil and raw honey taken with intention, their stories begin to change. They start coming back with a spark in their eyes and strength in their voices, saying things like, "Doctor, I feel alive again." And I can tell it's not just physical, it's emotional. Because when a man's testosterone begins to rise naturally, something powerful happens inside him. His confidence returns, his energy steadies, and life feels lighter, more purposeful, more his again. After 30 nights, your body begins to remember its natural rhythm. The morning fatigue that once weighed you down fades into sharper focus and steadier energy. You notice subtle but meaningful changes, firmer muscles, a clearer mind, and that quiet, unmistakable sense of vitality that makes you stand taller without even realizing it. The men who stay consistent tell me it's as if their bodies are finally cooperating again instead of resisting them. It's not about chasing youth, it's about reclaiming balance, strength, and peace of mind. And it all begins with two of nature's simplest gifts, olive oil and honey, working in harmony while you rest. No prescriptions, no side effects, just pure natural restoration. Each night, your body rebuilds. Each morning, it thanks you with more energy, better focus, and renewed desire. But here's the truth most men miss. Consistency is only the beginning. Because when you combine this nightly ritual with one more powerful mindset shift, something even deeper happens, not just in your hormones, but in how you see yourself as a man. And that's exactly what I want to share with you next. 9. The mindset shift that makes everything work. There's one thing I've learned after decades of working with men. It's that real transformation begins in the mind long before it shows up in the body. You can drink the olive oil and honey every night, you can sleep well and eat clean, but if deep down you believe that aging means slowing down, your body will listen to that belief. The truth is, your mindset is the command center of your hormones. What you think, what you feel, and how you speak to yourself, all of it influences how your body responds. I've seen men in their 70s radiate energy and drive simply because they refused to believe they were too old to improve. One of my patients, George, told me, "Doctor, I decided to stop waiting for my body to fail." That shift alone changed everything. Within months, he wasn't just stronger, he was more joyful, more confident, more alive. And that's what I want for you. When you start to see each night's ritual not as a chore, but as an act of self-respect, your entire system begins to align with that purpose. You're not just feeding your body. You're telling it, "I'm still in the game. I still matter." Your hormones respond to that conviction. Testosterone thrives in a body that feels hopeful, not defeated. Every time you take that mixture before bed, every time you walk, rest, or breathe with intention, you're proving to yourself that your strength didn't disappear. It's been waiting for you to claim it again. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about a quick fix or a secret formula. It's about a mindset that says, "I'm not done yet." And when you live from that place, your body responds in ways that surprise you. But before we close, let me share one final message. The truth that ties everything together and why this simple nightly habit could be the turning point you've been waiting for. 10. Why this simple ritual could be your turning point. If there's one thing I've learned after decades of treating men over 60, it's that most of them aren't broken. They're just running low on what once made them feel alive. They've been told that fatigue, low drive, and softer muscles are just part of aging, and so they accept it quietly, even when something inside them still wants more. But the truth is, your body hasn't forgotten how to thrive. It just needs the right signal, the right support, and a reason to believe again. That's exactly what this nightly ritual provides, a gentle but powerful reminder to your body that strength, desire, and confidence still belong to you. When you take that spoonful of olive oil and honey before bed, You're doing more than nourishing your hormones. You're making a promise to yourself to show up, to take care of the man you still are, and to give your body what it's been asking for all along: consistency and care. Each night, that mixture fuels your cells, balances your hormones, and helps you wake up just a little more alive than the day before. And over time, those small moments add up to something extraordinary: a stronger body, a sharper mind, and a calmer sense of purpose. I've seen this happen too many times to call it coincidence. Men who were once ready to give up suddenly find themselves walking taller, laughing louder, and reconnecting with the spark they thought was gone forever. Because when you combine science with faith in your own potential, your body has no choice but to respond. And if you've come this far, I want you to stay with me, because in the final part, I'll show you how to take this transformation even deeper, turning this simple habit into a lifelong path towards strength, vitality, and lasting confidence. Conclusion: your new beginning starts tonight. Gentlemen, I've spent decades studying men's health, and if there's one truth I've come to believe with absolute certainty, it's this: it's never too late to reclaim your vitality. The mixture of olive oil and raw honey isn't just a remedy, it's a symbol of something deeper. It's a quiet reminder that your body still listens, still responds, and still holds the ability to rebuild itself when given the right care. Every night you take that spoonful, you're not just feeding your hormones, you're feeding your strength, your courage, and your will to keep moving forward. We've talked about how olive oil nourishes your testosterone-producing cells, how honey fuels your body and lowers the stress that suppresses your hormones, and how the timing before bed turns this simple act into a nightly reset for your entire system. We've discussed how consistency builds momentum, how your mindset keeps the fire alive, and how daily habits like sleep, movement, and gratitude amplify every benefit this ritual brings. But beyond the science, what truly matters is the message you're sending yourself: that you're still capable, still strong, and still in control of your health. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s rediscover their energy, their confidence, and their spark, simply by committing to this small, meaningful act each night. You can be one of them. All it takes is a tablespoon of olive oil, a teaspoon of raw honey, and a decision to start. Because every great change begins with one simple choice: to take your health back one night at a time. So tonight, before you go to bed, make that promise to yourself. Mix the olive oil with the honey, take it slowly, and let your body remember what it's capable of. This isn't the end of your story, it's the beginning of a stronger, more vibrant chapter waiting to unfold.